Hello, today I want to talk about Jordan Peterson and why I changed my opinion on him over time. Now, I was first introduced to Jordan Peterson by watching his YouTube lectures. I thought he had a lot of interesting things to say about the Pareto distribution, Price's law, and Carl Jung archetypes, etc. But the more I learned about him as a person, the more I became more skeptical, and I don't really believe him anymore. And I don't take his advice. Now, the first link I listed below in the description box is a link to the Toronto Star article written by Bernard Schiff, a once longtime friend of Jordan Peterson. Now, he talks about how Jordan Peterson does not follow his rules in his own life. He brings up specifically rule number 1 and also rule 7 through 10. So, if the man doesn't practice what he preaches, and he is a success, and his life isn't very chaotic, and he seems to have a better life than most of us, and he doesn't follow those rules, which he stresses are very important to keep chaos at bay, why then would anyone infer that these rules are necessary and vital for their own lives? Okay? So you have to be skeptical about that, and you have to believe that Bernard Schiff knows what he's talking about because he's been a longtime friend of Jordan Peterson. He knows him better as a man than any of us combined. So keep that in mind. Also, Jordan Peterson negates, very important, psychological empirical research. Now, I'm going to leave another link below where Jordan Peterson says that a child is best suited to be with heterosexual parents. Now, there's been decades of psychological research that say that same-sex parents are just as good as heterosexual parents. And he was asked about same-sex parents, but he totally negated that research and then started talking about how single-parent households were bad for child rearing, okay? So, once again, he's negating decades of psychological research, and he knows better because he's a psychology professor. Now, I was a psychology undergrad, and I knew about that research. So for him to be a clinical psychologist and to negate that, he's lying. He's being misleading. He's obviously being misleading. Now, he also talks about this conspiracy theory about the neo-Marxists and the cultural Marxists, the postmodern movement, and somehow all these concepts being tied together and all these people in these movements being tied together, and they had some conspiracy to bring down Western civilization. And then he states that this all started at the Frankfurt School in Frankfurt, Germany. Well, that's just not true, and there's evidence supporting the fact that these movements really don't have anything to do with each other, and at times the people espousing these beliefs were actually in conflict with each other. So I'll leave another link and this is a video by 3 Arrows where he talks about how that conspiracy theory is absolutely ridiculous. And once again, as a psychology professor, a man of empirical research, you should not be peddling conspiracy theories. He's being misleading. Alright, now what's the next thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, according to that Toronto Star article, he also became a shaman, and if you read his book, it's almost like he's becoming like this Deepak Chopra type. Okay, now, to put it simply, life is chaotic, okay? Everybody has to figure out their own rules for life. You can't let some other person tell you how to live your life. Life is difficult, it always will be, and God bless.